Hey, welcome in. Well, I do have to admit, with some embarrassment, in my younger days, I was a fan of Noam Chomsky. And why? Well, I was very young, I didn't know anything about the world, and I was an idiot. However, with age and experience, I realized that people like Noam Chomsky are lunatics. And here's a good example. Here's the headline. Noam Chomsky says the unvaccinated should just remove themselves from society. How can we get food to them? Asked Chomsky. Well, that's actually their problem. Well, you know what? He didn't call them kulaks, right? So, I guess there's that. But this gives us a glimpse into the socialist utopia that people like Chomsky have in mind for you. Let's take a look at what sprung from Chomsky's anarcho-syndicalist viewpoint. I looked it up, by the way, anarcho-syndicalist. It means idiot. Let's take a look at the actual interview here.
When you talk about folks having the freedom to, separate if they don't want to abide by these vaccine mandates, what would that look like on a practical level? Does that mean that folks need to just stay home and have like groceries delivered to them? Does it mean like separated communities of folks who are unvaccinated, or just, how do you think this would practically play out?
Same way as with people who say that I don't want to accept traffic rules. I suppose there were people who said it's an attack on my liberty to make me stop at a red light. It's government overreach. We don't want the state to have that power over my private life. Well, such people have to be.
So I just want to pause it there to say he's obviously not insane, right? He's obviously not insane. Yeah, so comparing people who don't want to get vaccinated to not wanting to comply with traffic laws, just wanting to be able to run red lights, say. Yeah, that's just a completely coherent argument from the great Noam Chomsky. And also, too, it doesn't really sound so much like he's talking about the freedom to isolate yourself so much, does it? Because what happens to somebody who refuses to obey the traffic laws? They don't self-isolate. They get isolated. It sounds like that's where Chomsky's going with this, but anyway.
They should have the decency to remove themselves from the community. If they refuse to do that, then measures have to be taken to safeguard the community from them. Then comes the practical question that you ask, how can we get food to them? Well, that's actually their problem. Of course, if they...
So that's actually their problem. Because in Chomsky's world, you're just a faceless part of some identity machine, whether it's class or race or whatever. But again, I'm impressed he didn't call them kulaks, right? Anyway, let's see what else Chomsky has to say.
They become destitute, then yes, you have to move in with some measure to secure their survival, just as you do with people in jail, for example. But that's really not the issue.
So, he does have a heart. If you become destitute, he'll try and get you some food, like they do for people in prison. So that's not psychopathic at all. And it seems as if he's talking about people with natural immunity too, who don't pose any more of a threat than somebody who's vaccinated. Well, what do I know? I'm not the genius. Chomsky's the genius, right? And I want you to understand, this guy's the elder statesman of the left. Now, he has become a little bit embarrassing to them because he actually is pro-free speech, and I credit him for that. I'm just against the part of isolating and impoverishing millions of people who don't agree with him. But frankly, this is just deranged. If they refuse to do that, then measures have to be taken to safeguard the community from them. Well, what about the vaccinated people who can still spread the virus? How about, I guess you just have to isolate everybody, right? Is that it? You have to put everybody in a big camp together. In light of this, I'm kind of baffled actually by the fact that he does, at least last time I heard, still seem to care about free speech, because he doesn't really seem to care about individual rights at all otherwise. And his views that we've seen here they're insane. So I don't know. I think that Chomsky should go back to his anarcho-syndicalist farm, or wait a second. Oh, actually, sorry. Chomsky's a lifelong academic, so he's never done a hard day's toil in his life. That would be for you to do. So if there's going to be collective farms, you'll be working on them, not him. He'll be at his comfortable home figuring out which people need to be isolated. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.